What's good, everyone? Another weekly recap here. Saw a couple, let's say three minimum 10-hour trades this week that I didn't take. So we would back test those. I've actually been off this whole week. I started a fortunes funding single phase challenge, but this whole migration with meta quotes, this whole stuff going on, they're trying to figure that out. So they pause my account while they figure that stuff out, and next week should be sending me new credentials for DX trades or whatever. The prop from space is like kind of in the air right now, but we'll see what happens. Looks like they're adapting, so that's good. But yeah, just thought it'd be a good time to like recalibrate and just get some rest too. It's been my girlfriend's birthday, so this weekend, haven't been sleeping early, so yeah, prioritizing rest too. If I'm sleeping around like 11 p.m., 12 a.m., and waking up at 4:30, like it might reflect on the chart, so I don't want to put myself in a position where, I'm going to make a bad decision because of that. But it also comes down to having the actions of a professional trader, right? Like, hey, this week, your prop firm wasn't up, whatever, that's fine. But in terms of putting in the deposits every day, showing up every day, just, a moment to reflect, like, hey, every day, the days I can show up, I should, and I must. Yeah, so let's just jump into the weekly recap. Have some, I would say one banger. Two ended up getting stopped out, but before risk was reduced and partials were taken. So let's jump right into it. All right, so the first one, EJ, happened on Wednesday the 28th. I'm gonna leave the entry up there just because this is not really a strategy type of call or a video, but as we can see, massive uptrend, and we're just following order flow at this point. And the last order that we saw being eaten, massive order, was right here. Money was taken down here, structure was broken right here, right? And now what do we see when price comes back into equilibrium of that cause? And then does it form a schematic, right? We're looking for an accumulation down here at these point of interest, because that's where I would look for them. Because if I want to buy, I want to buy at a discount, and if I want to sell, I want to sell at a premium, right? So let's just take a step back and let's see. So we see, this yellow line right here, orange line, that's the 50 of the longer time frame. We see, money is eaten over here and here. Structure is broken. Minor structure at this point. Could still fib it up and see what happens when it comes back. We see price tickles the 50 again. And then it's more important about what's happening at this time, right? So there was news at 5:30 a.m. Pacific, USD red folder news. I'm not even really concerned about what the actual news was, but the fact that there's an excuse for volume and liquidity to happen right here, right? So if we go into a smaller time frame, we see these like massive buy orders, and then price. And you could even label that one as well. That one's debatable, but we see that price breaks order flow right here. And what's important is right here that when I was back testing is this wick right here. Look closely here. So 5:30 news comes out. Some buyers get liquidated. Also mitigation of an extreme right here. Look at this last sell to buy, mitigation of that, and then price breaks structure, right? So that tells me, okay, there weren't enough sellers to sweep the whole thing. Buyers came in, broke structure, set my limits off my POI. Right here is break of order flow right there. Set my limits off my POI. This is a 2.6 pip stop, and I'm setting my targets right. And then if you want, we should look for the opposite. If I'm buying from demand, I gotta be taking profits at my supply, right? So partials, most likely, what would this have given us right here? Partials right here, 10R, 12R right there. Partials right here at 15 maybe. Either here or here. So either first partials here and here. And then I would say closing at least 50% at this high right here, about a 20. And then since this leg has an effect of bringing price up this high, we could take most of the profits and maybe leave a runner at that point. But the main thing is to have reduced risk by this point, partials and partials, over 50% or 50% partials taken at this point. So just going back again, we see buy orders come in. There's a massive, on the smaller time frame, sell to buy that gets filled at news release. Price breaks order flow. It's in line with the higher time frame. Price came back into equilibrium of the cause. So now let's just play price. We can just see what happened. So it didn't hit final target, but it did take this 20R. I would take that, right? You end up, getting stopped out, but not really, because you already took partials and ate on that order anyway. There's going to be a back test that I show you right now where, partials, and then it ends up hitting all the way, and, great. And that's what's cool about, higher risk rewards, where you could just get partials left and right. As of it now, it's very premium now. Maybe we could see price come back into some more discounted levels, but that was a good intraday play on Wednesday, the 28th. And then there was another play on GCAD on the 28th as well. Let's take a step back. As you can see, pretty bullish. The only thing is price coming up to some premium legs over here, if you want to mark that out, right about here. But this back test, just following order flow as well. So let's see, price, takes all this money over here, takes that liquidity, breaks order flow, breaks structure, and then same thing over here, but on a smaller time frame. They take all the money over here, boom, sweep out Asian lows, everything, breaks the structure, and then price comes back into, price comes back into the equilibrium of that cause that broke the whole structure. So now I'm just really looking for continuation plays off this, if you want to call it massive order block, right? Sell to buy. So let's go into a smaller time frame. Cool. And this was not as clean, but there was still evidence of buyers coming in because of where it's happening, right? So we see, if we want to go on a smaller time frame, stop of the trend, phase B, secondary test, and then you see some drives here, evidence of buy orders coming in. And then this is really key here, this preliminary supply, seller's climax, automatic reaction, that's key right there. And then we have that final break of the range, even right here. And you can say the range is from here to here, and then we have the break of the range. But then also look how it breaks the range. So at this point, right, price coming into some discounted levels, and then you could even say there are some orders taken here, and then price coming into this and building confluence with two order blocks, right? And then at this point we see price coming into equilibrium, and then this as a potential spring, but we don't know that yet until we get a sign of strength, right? So let's play price. Okay, cool. Look how it breaks. There's this last sell to buy, and look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish minutes of straight bulls coming in. And look how aggressively they come in. Green, no wick, just straight bullishness, right? So that's proving that, okay, they came into an equilibrium, filled some orders to take it higher. So off my POI, my last sell to buy, that broke structure as well. I would have had 2 orders here. One of them would have been stopped. But let's see what happens. Oh, in terms of targets, let's see. Let's say maybe one target there. Make sure you pay yourself. And one there. Even maybe before too. This is a type 4 schematic. So 50, and then let's see the cause, and then final targets over here. See what happened. Cool. And you could also even leave a runner, so after this break maybe you'd leave like 10-15%, but this would have went for that 15R. And if you wanted to, I guess you could measure out fib-based retracements or this higher time frame supply. Let's see if it even took that high of 198, 195. So it didn't sweep the whole high, but yeah, maybe just some more partials taken if you had runners at some more premium levels over here, potentially going for a 1 to 20, right? Ends up getting stopped out, but it's just coming back into some more demand zones. So that was GCAD, and G-Chef was the most banger, or why we're going over at the end. And a couple things here. So this is still going, and this is 18R of where I would have got in. But let's see here. So why do I have this even marked up? Right. I had this marked up because of the fundamentals as well as what the order flow is doing. Look at what we see here. We see this trendline liquidity being taken, not fully, but some liquidity being taken, and structure continuing back to the upside. And one concerning thing to me was that we didn't break this supply before coming back in, but I still had marked this up as a POI, and to see what would happen when price came back. It could just be a complex pullback to send us back into demand before breaking structure. And fundamentally as well, pound is bullish, has been bullish for a bit, as you could see just with the chart as well. So just wanted to also just follow order flow, see if price gives a continuation. But we come back in here, one sec real quick, price comes back into equilibrium. Now we could look for our schematic, right? Or extreme. And I like this here because there's a Frankfurt Asian sweep as well right there. So that's really nice. So let's go back. So what I like right here is price is stalling. We see these big sellers come in, sell, and now price is stalling. There's a stop of the trend. We see some buy orders come in. This is like so beautiful right here. This range right here, like so many buy orders come in. Like look at this, right? Look at the volume there. Probably wouldn't have taken this at this point just because maybe could have taken that, but it hadn't came into equilibrium at that point, right? So we see there's this massive spring, and it's confirmed by this break of structure right here. And this is type 1 schematic, so we could, the way I trade, I could wait for structure to break at this point. But I realistically wouldn't have gotten in here because this was a London entry. So my back test would reflect of what was realistic of me to catch and turn to New York. But yeah, so now we have a continuation. As we could see, order flow is followed. So creates a new low, breaks structure, mitigates some equilibrium, break structure again, and now we have a new leg, right? This is our new leg, the sell to buy that breaks structure. And I'm not worried about price coming in further down because it has mitigated before it went back up, right? So now what I could do is set my limits, and this is, a really textbook play right here. Let me clean this up a little bit. We see an attempt at a distribution, but then we see buyers come in again, and then the rest is history. These buyers come in and continue structure. So now we see that the buyers are stronger here. Look at the higher time frame. It's coming back into some demand, accumulates, and look how it breaks again, right? That's a nice break. So limits off my POIs, and then you could, if you are more of like an order block trader, you could see a couple things here. See this sell to buy before it breaks structure, but I like having a protected low. So my protected low is over here, and that's where my stop loss would be. So let's play price, and let's see what happens. Okay, cool. Price break structure, and this supply, sure, you could say there's supply there, but look how long it's accumulating for and where. Over a day, right? There's like so many orders put in throughout the day versus 10 hours. So we can see there's a cause being built up right here. So price taps in, and I guess if you're more of the order block trader, like, you would have still been fine right there, which is nice. And then break structure. So in terms of partials, I would look for price to take this supply out for a 9R, some partials here, as well as I would say the rest, most of the order at this point, honestly. And then maybe 50 to 75% cut right there, or this high at this point, 18R. And then as you saw, it kept going. So it is a massive uptrend, maybe targeting some supply over here, or you could use some fib based retracements or measured moves, right? So we see price was able to bring it up all the way from there, from this leg. This is like a topic I could go over at some other point too, measured moves, but right about here for a 22R, let's see what happened. Cool, yeah, all targets would have been hit. Yeah, see, so just quickly, I could do a whole video on this though. Measured moves, like this leg had the power to send price up this high. So let's see what happens when price comes back into that accumulation zone and sends price higher, and then just projections. If this leg was this powerful, this leg should be around the same. Boom, about a 22R. That was it for today's weekly recap. And yeah, if you have any questions, please put it down in the comments or message me. And yeah, looking forward to upload more of these in the near future. Even though I didn't catch any of these, like, it was reassuring to see like the opportunities there are in the market. So it could have been a good week, but it's all good. Just training that eye and moving on to the next one. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you. See you in the next one.